Hello, my Let's Talk family. Once again, thank you for joining us this evening. This is Let's Talk the Business Spotlight Edition. I love doing these. I love spotlighting people that's doing some great things in this community as well as the world. And we have a beautiful spirit here with us this evening. We have April, I'm gonna say it right now, uh, Uzzell.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for joining us this evening. I really appreciate you coming on the show, and we're going to really get into talking to you about your business, your new business. You know, I saw her on Facebook, and I actually met her actually before it was early April of last year, if I'm not mistaken. And my editor, Alita, invited me to this program that she was actually the moderator for, and it was a beautiful program about authors. And I was a new one about to come out that month after that, and I mean the words that they spoke was beautiful. So that's how I met April. But I've been keeping up with her, and now I noticed that she's having some new stuff coming out. So before we get started into asking you some things, April, you want to introduce yourself and kind of tell us what your business and what it does?
Yes, sure. Thank I first I would like to say thank you, Regina, for
Hmm.
having me on the show. Like I said, it's a privilege and an honor to, be in a spotlight, you know. Um, my name is April Uzzell, like she said. My most important job is a mother. I am a mother of two amazing um, young ladies, which are adults now. I can say if I didn't get anything right, I got being a mother right
Amen.
through, struggles and, working out the kinks. I can say
Hmm.
they're grown, they're adults. Also, I am the founder and host of Real Talk April Coaching and Consulting Services. The coaching aspect is something that Regina just said that I'm just relaunching that as well. The consulting services is a lot of my credit services that I help individuals with budgeting and fixing their credit. I also have a real talk show um, that I'm actually doing. Real Talk April has was initially started in back in 2019.
Hmm.
Um, we took a year off. Now we're just getting back, relaunching her,
Hmm.
and adding my some of my services that I just said.
That's
Also, when I say I was a mother, I'm a minister as well. I love the Lord, and everything I do, I wanted to exemplify Him.
hmm
So I just love, helping and serving people, yeah,
yeah.
individuals.
So April, all this stuff you're saying is beautiful. You're doing a lot to help other people, and just being a minister on that, on top of that, is even beautiful, even better because you're able to bring the Lord into your project. So that's wonderful. So your why, give me your why. Like, what made you decide to do this?
Well, to be honest with you, coaching, I had my coaching certifications over 8 years now. I've been into the coaching business. It was something that I always done naturally. A lot of times we can do things naturally and not know that that's it. That's my gift. That's something that God gave me that's unique that I can impact the world with. And also, you can also create revenue from it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so my struggle with that was because it was something that I enjoyed. It was my
Mm-hmm.
passion.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it. I was able to be in the presence of others and just a fire just lit and they ready and they fired up. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow. So that right there let me know that God was using me in that area, and
Mm-hmm.
then wanted to create a business. The business aspect was a kind of struggle for me because I felt like I couldn't separate ministry and business.
Oh.
And it was hard for me to like want to charge people. But I had to realize that you giving your time, and ministry is, yeah, but also too, um, God, he's the one that empower us to get well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a blessing as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll say the same for me, April. It was hard for me too because when you love to do something, you do it if you get paid or you don't get paid.
Right.
So you're and then you kind of saying, well, I've been doing it not getting paid, and then you kind of feel bad about charging people because but see what I'm learning and what I learned and what I'm learning is you have to value yourself, right? Nobody's going to value you until you value yourself. You keep getting yourself out for free, people are going to take it for free. And
Hmm.
your services, just like any other service in this world, everybody has services they offer and they pay. You pay for services all day. We pay for services all day. So why we feel that we can't charge either? Everybody else is charging for their services. We can't go to the gas station and get free gas. We can't go to the supermarket and get free food. We can't go to a counselor and get free counseling. They charge because they want to make a living on what they do. Now, it's not saying that inside of that you can't do pro bonos or you can't do, community service projects and still give back. You can still give back, but why not do something that you love to do and you have the purpose that Lord gave you and you can live off of that? Why not? I think it's a
Right.
beautiful thing to be able to live and make an income off of something that you love to do. And like I said, inside of that, you still could be that person and give back inside of that. And you could start nonprofits. You could do a lot of things to give back, but you still could get a string of income from what you love to do. So I was with that struggle last year. Honestly, I was with that last year. I had to learn this. Like I am valued, and you're valued.
Yes. Yes.
I saw
And
something on Instagram the other day. And it was a barber, and he was cutting hair, and he said, "I could cut your hair perfection in 30 minutes." He said, "And my prices has increased, and you're not paying for the 30 minutes. You're paying for the 10
mm,
years that I had to go to classes and learn how to perfect this cut. That's what you're paying for. My 10 years of education. You're not paying for the 30 minutes in the chair." Makes a lot of sense.
mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely.
I really enjoyed seeing that because that made me kind of like affirm what I was thinking. So
Yeah.
so let's say okay, you got where you at now. Now you're still in the process of getting everything up and running. Have you ran into any roadblocks at all in your journey?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was really one major roadblock for me, from getting it totally running up and
Mm-hmm,
going because of the fact, and like you said, it boils down to knowing your value and knowing your worth,
mm-hmm,
knowing that you're worth it, and I had to know that. You get what I'm saying? That I'm worthy of what God has in my hands. You get
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm,
that was one roadblock with getting that started. And with everything, it requires authentic version of you. It requires you to step out of your comfort zone.
mm-hmm,
I'm good at helping people, serving people. I'm an encourager. I love to encourage.
mm-hmm.
Um, I love to, encourage and stuff
Encourage
like that,
people, motivate people, basically.
and motivate people and
Mm-hmm,
inspire people and stuff like that. But when it comes to business side of it, I was like, oh my God, guys, he wants this to be a business, something that you continue doing. So
mm-hmm,
that right there was one of my roadblocks, one of my struggles,
mm-hmm,
knowing that God has called me into business, and knowing that I'm good enough. When God calls you, you got
mm-hmm,
to know that you're good enough. You got to know that you're worthy of the calling. And that's a lot of things I had to figure out. I had to come to the conclusion that God called me. When God called me, He got me. So yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, and when God calls you, at the time it don't make sense sometimes, or you don't understand sometimes, like what's the
Hmm.
next step, what you're going to do next, or whatever the case is. And then he kind of gives
Right,
you that one step at a time. You're only able to see that next footstep only. That's it.
right.
You're able to see the next foot. And then that's
Absolutely.
scary because you want to see the full path all the way down the road. You want to see exactly where you got to turn next. And a lot of times he just give you just enough to get to the next step and get to the next step and get to the next step. All right. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where you see April at in 5 years?
Well, I see April in 5 years just growing in my coaching business,
Mm-hmm.
just reaching and impacting more lives with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just, I mean, in a bigger space, in that, from where I am today. So that's basically where I see April, especially
That's
I
it.
mean, as it relates to business,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, absolutely, growing and expanding. Yes.
So what are you working on currently right now? I know you telling us what you're doing, but like, do you have anything, any kind of workshops or any kind of anything that you have coming out soon or in the near future?
Yes. Currently, you can go to my Facebook page, April Uzzell, where you can reach my Real Talk April Coaching and Consulting Services page, where it will give you access to my shows. And that's my Real Talk shows are what I got actively going right now, currently are working on once a month shows where I come on and share, a part of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
Also sharing keys. Also, some of the shows consist of collaboration with others.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so very encouraging, very motivated, informational, where we informative, where we share information about whether it be spiritually, whether it be about mental health is a big thing, whether it be about business, finance, credit, different things like that. So that's what I'm currently working on right now.
Okay, that sounds good. You got a lot of stuff in the pot there, a lot of stuff in the pot. So
Yeah.
I see that I have April's information thrown on the bottom of the screen, and so you could be able to find her in those pages. Actually, her consultant service on Facebook as well as her email address, and you could contact her through that. And before we get ready to leave, I'm gonna ask you one last question: Is what do you have a defining moment that you could tell us about, something that defining moment that has you to where you at right now?
Well, of course, I would look at my defining moment as when God nudged me and say, when God nudged me and like I had to let me know that I'm called
Mm-hmm.
to do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times we get discouraged along the way, and it may be many of you out there that may struggle with trying to find out what God has called you to do, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
business in the marketplace. Um, what is it, God? You know what I'm saying? And you can be authentic. You can be who God has called you to be.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times our gifts lies in what we have a passion to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just figuring out what you love to do, what you good at, because we all are good at something, and you start from there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you work. Just ask God to continue to reveal to you the plans that He have for you. So, and then too, it requires you to step out of your comfort zone. No, I didn't want to get out of my comfort zone because I mean, I love my 9 to 5 job. I love working my 9 to 5 job because of the fact that it's something that I love to do. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy helping people. But God says, hey, I got more. I want to expand you a little bit more. So you got
Mm-hmm.
to be willing to be stretched. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times we don't like to be stretched. We don't like to hit unknown territories because
Mm-hmm.
we don't know it all. Come on now. A lot of times we are afraid because we don't know it all. And that
Mhm.
was one of my moments when I had to define that God called me. When God called me, He got a
Mhm.
plan for me. Okay. When God called me, God got me, right?
That's right.
Able to lead me through the valleys of those dark times, shaping me into who He has called me to be. So with that was one of my defining moments, just knowing that God called me. He
That's
called
it.
me, and we don't have to worry about who didn't call us, who don't support us, who don't see it. As long as God see it in you, and you see it, okay? I
Mhm.
always say you gotta be the pusher of the you. Okay, you gotta push you. Okay, you gotta support you, and you gotta show up for you. And that's one thing God said to me: when you show up, I'm gonna show up. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna show up and do the miraculous in your life. So we can't be afraid, And sometimes it don't make sense. When God give you something, it's not gonna make sense. It's not
Mhm.
gonna make sense. It's gonna be above your strength. It's going to be above your capability of
Mhm.
what you think you can do. A lot of things that God has placed in my hands and revealed to me, I'm like, how am I going to do that? You get what I'm saying? And a lot of times I catch myself running, Regina. I
Yeah.
catch myself running from it. I catch myself, you know what I'm saying? Because when you got so much going on and God shows you so much and
Mhm.
give it to you, it's like, oh my God, is this for me? Yes, it's for you. If He
Mhm.
gave it to you and you're able to see it, it's for you to do. So don't be afraid when God calls you, when He asks you to step out of the box, when He asks you to come out of your comfort zone. Go for it.
This
So,
is beautiful. April, do you understand that, what you just said, there's going to be some people that you're going to hit today. You're going to hit that spirit on them because what you just said made a lot of sense. And a lot of people need to hear that. So I know when people hear this interview, I hope it really touched someone because that's what I think majority of people have the problem is if they don't understand it, and my favorite scripture is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And I think we talked about that. Not lean on, not on your understanding, trust in God with all your heart, and He will straighten out your crooked path. So that's what makes me continue to go on and do the things that I'm doing because I know that it's not in my understanding. And a lot of times, because you don't see that next footstep, doesn't mean He doesn't have you because He gives you the next footstep. So
right,
you just got to continue going on with that footstep and just trust in Him, and He will definitely straighten out those crooked paths and make them easy for you to travel on. So I love that, April. That was so beautiful, so beautiful. So I would like to thank you, April, for being on Let's Talk the Business Spotlight Edition. We like to empower, uplift, and motivate our audience, and so this is what we do. I am here to help serve the community by spotlighting businesses and services and products that people have because I feel that we need to support each other. We need to support each other. And if this is helping help you any bit, I'm so glad that you was able to come on this show. So until next time, like I always say, next time bring a friend and let's talk again. Until next time, God bless and we love you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. April, thank you again. I appreciate you.
thank you. God bless.